So we're gonna be calling Shannon High.
Downey, this is your team. Please meet us at Dairy Queen. We miss you, Downey. Please. Please come home, Downey.
My name is Shannon High, and I'm going to be your junior class president.
Whoa, where'd the seat cushion go? Shannon, where's Shannon
I'm at Penn State.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
What are you studying?
Aerospace engineering.
I like
Aden,
it.
we made it out the mud, sir. We made it out the mud.
Pretty good. You're on your third year?
Second year.
Second year. I don't know why I thought you were older. I guess you moved your junior year. That's right.
Yeah, I'm only a year older. Yeah, at least I think so, right?
Yeah.
Because you're a freshman, I'm a sophomore. Yeah, nothing crazy.
No, I'm actually a junior. I'm just kidding. All right, go.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Another episode of the best military kids podcast on the internet. You know the drill. It's the Shannon Show. Not gonna lie, feeling a little under the weather today. But Michael Jordan, he played an entire basketball game with the flu. So this is just my rendition of that. This is my MJ flu game.
This is about a basketball game.
The show
is this me
goes
versus
on.
You, or is this us versus them?
We're on the same team. It's me and you against this horrible thing.
Against the world.
Yeah, against the world. It really is. Just two guys on a podcast. And, we're going to overcome the haters. If you're wondering how I got sick, I was at the Penn State whiteout football game, the best college football atmosphere in the world, with me and 110,000 of my bestest of friends. Just really close together, no mask mandate, just like absolutely rubbing elbows and kissing each other.
The Rona?
No, I don't have Rona. We're vaxxed. We're vaxxed. We stay vaxxed. I got my card like strapped on me all times. Dude, I wear like a name tag.
I'm going to an event this weekend, and they're like, most have vax card, and I'm like, that's a first. So I need to.
California is different though. California is different.
But I mean, they're very pro vax, but it's good. My school required it. Which,
get vaxxed.
Yeah, I'm vaxxed.
Yeah, vax up, kids.
Yep.
Stay away from that Rona. Anyways, lost my voice, never came back. Just absolutely terrible. My roommate is also sick, so I'm just in like this like cesspit of like just disgusting, like this bit of despair. Him and I just like rolling around in agony, but we're gonna get through it. The whole campus is kind of going through it right now. I'm not sure if it's because like we were kind of locked away for a while, and like now we all exposed ourselves to each other again. I'm gonna leave some other scientists to do that. Anyways, introducing the guest, most important part. What is wrong with me? Aden, Leggio, Aden.
Leggio. Did you say Leggio? You said Aden.
Is it Leggio?
No.
I've never said your last name out loud before. How disrespectful! I'm a guest on the Shannon Show, and I don't say his name correctly.
My name is Aden Leggio. It's Italian.
Honestly, I was thinking about it before the show. I'm like, Leggio. That makes sense. I thought
you
should stick with Leggio. You should go with it.
What do you mean I should stick with Leggio? That's how you say it.
I'm just saying that sounds good. You should like keep rolling with that.
You should stick with Hyde.
I think so too. I mean, maybe I went for the high D one time, but
that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it works. But I'm Aden. You're a Kubasaki grad, which is that's a big thing. Everyone loves Kubi kids, including myself. You're a first year college student at
UCI, University of California at Irvine.
Would have thought. That is absolutely crazy. We want to talk all about that, all about the college application experience, moving from Okinawa back to the States, which you're in the middle of doing. You just started, right? This is your first week?
Yeah, today's actually my first day of classes. I had my first
day of classes, and now he's on the Shannon Show.
Correct.
We set that up. That was on purpose. Yep. Yes, that's awesome. Let's get into it. You graduated from Kubi in the middle of a pandemic, which isn't fun for freaking anybody.
No.
Let's just a little bit about your senior year. It did look like you were kind of having fun though, just like from
it wasn't
Instagram.
Bad.
Yeah.
I gotta say, at first I was like, class of 2020 honestly had it better because everyone was like, oh, they're having it so hard, so everybody was doing stuff for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
They like got to go to like all those fancy racetracks. Everyone was doing stuff for them. But I was like, class of 2021, it's the same stuff, but they can't do everything again for them. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. We had graduation times. I mean, we were in person all year. So we had full class. We had our masks, which is fine. It's doable. It's not fun, but it's not really as bad as people say. And then graduation, we had a graduation parade, which I think they should keep doing because it was really cool. Right. It was like, I don't know if you saw like the posts from me and Henry and stuff, Like Henry like decked out his K truck and like sat in the back of the truck, and I borrowed our friend's van that has sunroof, so I sat on top of a van for like the whole parade, and we like decorated the cars, and there were people lining the streets, and it's just like a much more like formal way to be like, yes, I'm awesome, than a graduation ceremony. You know what I mean? Because a graduation ceremony.
Yeah, that sounds better than like the regular Kubi graduation.
Exactly. You don't have to like worry about who you're handing tickets to because anybody can come. You get all the lays still. You know what I mean? It's like the best of both worlds. And then we had like a drive-through graduation, which no one really could watch because it was like right at the front of the school, but no one was allowed to come into the parking lot. So it was really like you drive up, shake Mr. Straight's hand, get your diploma, which is cool. I saw honestly one of the best things about it. Koya shout out. I hadn't seen Koya because Koya, you know, he like not quit, but he like left for a year. You hear about that? When the Rona hit, so
this is news to me.
My senior year. So my junior year. My junior year is when COVID hit, right?
Yeah.
So I was in Koya's class junior year. End of the year it hit. We went online with Koya. Finished up the year online with Koya. Yeah. Senior year, he was like, I'm not going to teach because of Rona. So he did like the online school thing, which you don't actually really teach in online school. You just grade stuff. So everyone was like, no, never showed his face at Kubasaki. So I hadn't seen him in over a year.
And then he just shows up?
And he shows up at graduation, and I saw him with his beard, and I was like, it was like, I mean, like, you know, like I liked Koya. Like, of course, there's pros and cons to Koya, but it was so cool. I was like, what the heck? But yeah, overall, senior year was pretty fun. Did a lot of like outside stuff. There was like all the base regulations were going off, so it was like different months of the year we could eat inside, different months of the year we couldn't eat inside. It was a lot. It was good.
Yeah. I feel like Oki is so much like, maybe I don't know if it's better, but it's like so much different once you can have a car. I can imagine. I never had that experience, like driving off base and stuff.
Oh my
like
gosh.
I couldn't imagine just like how much more exploring and like freedoms you could have.
Dude, it's awesome. Like I turned 18 in February, and I mean I had a car like on base only, which is pointless. But as soon as I turned 18, I only ever was off base. Like we went up north. We like found, me and a couple friends like found a random beach and had like a bonfire like multiple nights of the year. You know what I mean? Like, and then also the other downside, if you have siblings, PSA, if you have siblings
are the worst.
Okinawa, don't get it. I instantly turned into a mom. Every night, late night, picking my sister up from Reisner Gym. Every night, driving. And then like all of a sudden, other moms who are like my family friends who I love, be like, hey, can you pick up my kids and bring them home? Like, and I'm like, I'm nice. I can't say no. Instantly, like all I was doing was like taking my sister to volleyball, taking her friends home. You know what I mean? It's like, it's fun. It was fun to drive, but it's like you are
Aden the Uber driver.
Dude, seriously. And I never got, I mean, I sometimes got paid. I was also like a DD to some of our adult friends, which is fun, but all in all, driving in Okinawa is awesome because everything's close. Everything's like, so many beaches you can explore. It's a good time.
It is crazy. Like, it's hard to explain to people like how compact the island is. Like, just how small of a place.
It really is.
And there's like that shock factor whenever you come back and you're like, America, like, that's a lot of land, bro. Like, holy shit.
It's ridiculous. I was like, so my school is 20 minutes from Long Beach, Irvine 20 minutes from Long Beach. Yeah. And I remember like looking at Google Maps, I'm like, oh, 20 minutes, that's not bad. That's like from, you know, like Kadena to Foster on a bad day, you know what I mean? Which is like no distance realistically. And then we're on the highway going like 80. I'm like, this is really long. Like,
this is far.
Like I could ride my bike from Kadena to Foster. This would take me like a day to ride my bike.
And everyone, they drive slow in Oki too. The speed
exactly. So it doesn't. That's where. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's silly, but it's definitely something you notice. It's like that island living that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of overrated, but everything is a little bit slower, a little more easygoing, even if you're in a foreign country, just digging around.
It's like the greatest place. Like, I mean, I was excited to come back, but dude, I'll always, because I lived in Okinawa forever. I was born there. I was like, dude, I love it.
That's crazy.
So I don't know, it was good.
So do you live there like your entire life?
From when I was like 2 years old to 3.5, we lived in middle of nowhere, Omaha, Nebraska. So my dad was Air Force. So by the way, also it's the Shans. I'm a very bad example to be a military kid because
no.
I'm a military kid, but I'm like a fake one who never really left. You know what I mean? Like I didn't actually move around. So when I was young, my dad got stationed back in Omaha, Nebraska since he was Air Force. Yeah. And then came back, and then his job was like so essential, I guess, in Okinawa that they were like kept extending him, and then right before I started high school, he retired and then got another job on base that we could stay. So that's why I've always been in Okinawa. But yeah.
It wasn't your mom a teacher too, or am I just making that
She
up?
was, but she was like the fake kind of teacher that doesn't like well no, like so like teachers like Miss White, all those guys, like Henry's parents, Kai Grubb's parents,
Yeah.
like that kind of teachers allows you to stay. If my dad lost his job, we would have to leave. My mom is she's like a local hire. This is what they call her. So she doesn't get benefits or anything like that.
Gotcha.
So we were only there because of my dad, I think. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, you're not a fake military kid. We had Kai Grubbs on the show. If he counts, then like everyone counts.
He's a fake military kid.
He's fake as hell. No, I love Kai. Shout out. Kai's great. What is he doing right now? I just see he's doing like construction
in Missouri, dude. I had no idea. No, he's doing good. Because like he told us all he's gonna, if he sees this, he's gonna kill me. He told us all, he's like, I'm gonna be a welder. We were like, go for it. Then he was like, no, I'm gonna be an electrician. Which I was like, yeah, that's sick. So I think he like is working for some family, helping out, and he just does like everything, like, you know, outlets, like whatever they need help with.
Yeah.
Like, dang, you know how he's like, have you heard him talk about this like AMC crap where he's like super into stocks?
Yeah, the
honestly,
stocks. Yeah.
He has made a lot of money. So kudos to him. Not hating on it. He has made a lot of money. It's just very like it's you know, it's risky business, but you know, I mean, like I
risky business. I like he's selling drugs.
Yeah, like he's like, so now he's going to, I think, a community college, and he's taking like some finance classes because he's thinking he's going to go like down like the financial advisor or stockbroker route, which is, dude, I have no doubt he's going to be pretty rich one day. So
that would be like the most Kai Grubbs thing. The most Kai Grubbs thing ever. Like he just ends up being like stupid rich. We're all like working the rest of our days. Kai Grubbs has like 3 chicks next to him. Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
The hair is all long. I could totally see it.
I have zero doubt that will happen.
Yeah. He would always tell me, he's like, Shannon, you know what? I'm getting free college no matter what. I'm like, okay, Kai Grubbs. Like he just brought it up like so many times because he's Native American or whatever. Which I mean,
holds a Native American card. Which hey, is a good card to play.
Yeah. It's like, how do you come back from that? I'm like, yeah, you know, that was pretty messed up. You got me there. Yeah, you probably deserve that one. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. But tell me, what are you exactly doing now? What's your major at UC Irvine? Why UC Irvine?
So I guess I'll start with why UC Irvine. Yeah. I you know, Okinawa's an island, so I feel like I should. Is my face too white? I'm overthinking.
But what are you talking about? We're doing this before the show, too. Yeah, close the blind. You're gonna keep on thinking about it. So, right back. Yeah. Oh my god. Man, this guy's the worst. No, I'm just playing. I feel like if I was a professional, like a true professional, I'd be able to keep on with the show.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out like my.
So nothing changed.
Yeah, nothing.
You just made me do that little bit of editing for nothing. No, I'm just playing.
Sorry.
But before you continue, wait, I saw that water bottle in the background, and I have to say, I'm pretty sure I owe you a large sum of money because you like consecutively landed water bottles on the cab, and I said you wouldn't.
All right, side story.
We'll get back to the UC Irvine, yeah.
Yeah, me and Shannon used to have stats together, and it was me, him, and Henry, and he, because you know Shannon was a year older than us, so he would dork around with us all the time. And this was like kind of when water bottle flipping was like not a thing. It was like it
was not. Yeah.
It was like it was well and done. And he was like, and I was like messing around. He was like, "I'll give you $50 if you cap it right now." And I was like, "All right." And I did it.
You did it.
And you were like, "I'm not giving you $50." And I was like, I was a nice guy. I was like, you know what? Just buy me Taco Bell. And you didn't buy me Taco. Or did you?
Are you sure? I feel like I totally would have.
Maybe you bought me Taco Bell.
I don't remember doing it, but like
didn't have the same lunch, so it just never worked out.
It was complicated. I totally would have though. I'm a big Taco Bell guy. Yeah. I'll share tacos with anybody.
Oh
but the crazy thing is, you did it again. Yeah, you did it twice. You did it at lunch. You did it at lunch another. You did it at lunch another time. And then you're like 50 more bucks.
I'm a solid bottle flipper.
But it was cap both times.
Yeah. What can I say?
Like with the pressure on. That's crazy, man.
I operate well under pressure, except in tennis. Yeah,
all right,
we'll go back to
get back
UCI,
to
and
we'll
then
get back to tennis. Yeah.
we'll go chronologically. So yeah, Okinawa's an island. Am I jittery? I'm overthinking this.
What are you
Whatever.
talking about? Tell me about UC Irvine. Yeah, why'd you choose
So
that?
Okinawa's an island. I really like surfing. I surf a lot with Henry, stuff like that. I wanted to be by the ocean. I knew I probably wouldn't be able to be landlocked. So my obvious choices were like East Coast or West Coast. And I have a lot of family on the East Coast, but like schools from the East Coast really just weren't screaming my name. And I have never really been to Southern California, but it's like you kind of know like Southern California schools are very popular. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
excuse me. And I knew that like they were usually pretty decent for engineering because that's what I want to do. So started doing research. Instantly like San Diego came up. So I was like, ooh, San Diego, that sounds sick. So I started doing a lot of research on like UC San Diego, which was like my dream school. Like I was like, I want to go to UC San Diego. Have you ever seen the library? It's like
I have not.
mushroom. It's like the second largest library in America. Sick. So I did so much research on that. And then I started doing other stuff like San Diego State, Cal Poly, blah, blah. Applied to a bunch. The night of, I'm getting a notification. The night that I submitted, I'm not like Willow. I didn't submit my applications last minute.
You saw that?
Yeah. I was like, I was like in school with her. She's like, applications are due tonight. I'm like, oh my God, Willow.
I couldn't believe that. I was in shock.
I know.
Go ahead.
I was like, and you think Willow proactive, right? But
yeah.
So I was doing. It's kind of funny. Do you know Kiara Oshana?
Yeah, your girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
Like,
Please tell me, please.
I'm like very into her at the time, and so I'm like trying. The whole application process is like how we started.
Oh.
So I'm like, hey, easy questions I know the answer to. I'm like, hey, do you know how to do this? Like just to try to get to talk to her.
Oh.
So the night we're like submitting our UC applications at the same time. I'm just applying to UC San Diego, which is like my dream school. That's all I can think about.
Yeah.
And UC Santa Barbara. She's applying to a couple other ones. The UC application is like a style where you do the whole application. It's not like a common app. It's like its own thing. But then you click the UC schools you want. So it's like the UC app, and then there's like UCLA. You just check all the boxes. And then for each box you check, you have to pay $50 or whatever. She's like, just pick Irvine. Because I had done no research on Irvine. All I'd ever heard was Irvine was from a surf podcast I listened to, where it's like a snobby area where like a bunch of super rich white people live, and Asian people, which, you know, it's super cool. I love it now, but and she's like, just click the box. It's just a couple bucks. It's like, it's not worth it. You never
couple bucks, $50.
Well, you know, like it's college application.
Yeah, just
like,
give it a shot.
I was like, all right, what the hell? Click the box. Never thought a thing about it. When I ran around the applications, I ended up applying to like San Diego, Cal Poly bunch. Long story short, UCI was like one of the first to get back to me. I got into San Diego State University, Point Loma. And then I didn't get into Santa Barbara or Cal Poly. And now the last one I'm waiting for is UC San Diego, like my dream school. And I open the application and I get in. And I'm like freaking out, blah, blah. I'm jumping up and down. And then I like scroll down and it's like for undeclared, which is like not your major. So I like email them.
Yeah, that's not.
And so they're like, well, you got in, but you can't do engineering. If you want to pick like a major that isn't important, which is, sorry,
damn, bro.
disrespecting all other majors, but it's like the school calls them capped. And like, so like, if you want to be an English major, I'm like, I don't want to be an English major. So I did more research. I started doing research on UCI because it seemed like that was my next best choice. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, like this campus, dude, if you ever get to come here, it is beautiful. Like it's so many trees and it's big, but it's also so tight knit. And UCSD, everyone kept saying like, it's so big and you get lost. You'll never really get lost here. It's like it's really comfy. So I was like, honestly, UCI seems better than UC San Diego now that I do research on it. The only downfall is like UC San Diego is in La Jolla on the coast, which is like surf whenever I want. Whereas I'm like 4 miles from the beach, which, you know, it is what it is. So I picked Irvine. That's it. I'm majoring in mechanical engineering. Yeah, it's good. Should I go more into detail?
No, you're good. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
about it.
That's interesting. So do you think you made the right choice? Just like, how are the vibes on the first day?
Yes. I mean, like, so pros and cons, you know, like the dorm just outside of me is this beautiful 5-story glass paned, built in 2020 building. It is gorgeous. That's the dorm I wanted. I'm in this dorm, which is so it's like that's like
looks
a big
pretty
dorm.
normal dorm. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty normal. And then there's like I kind of call them like massive condos. There's I think 18 rooms in each of these buildings. There's only 2 stories, and they're kind of small, and they look all kind of cool. And so there's like 5 or 6 of these buildings, and there's like bigger apartments kind of behind me.
Yeah.
So I'm in like one of these condos, so it's still kind of in the middle of everything. I mean, the way UCI works is like it's a circle, and the circle is a park, like a grass park. It's beautiful, and then all the buildings wrap around the circle. So
Gotcha.
like I'm obviously on the edge, but so is everything else. So yeah, this is very, very. I'm not racist. I promise.
Oh my God! If you start a statement off with that, Jesus.
So
Take it easy, guys.
But
Yeah.
like my dorm has a lot of people who are very standoffish and a little bit rude, and it has nothing to do with where they come from, but it's like most of them don't speak English, and they're this is not whatever, I'll say it. This is nothing to do with Americans. This is because these are like actual Chinese people, and they're true Chinese, and they all seem cool. Like every time I introduce myself to them, they just ignore me. They're like, I'm like,
What?
I'm like, dude,
Are you for real?
Yeah. I'm like, we're like freshmen in college, like, and I think they're really rich kids, like really rich kids. And yeah, so like they don't really do anything. Most of them just game, which I'm not a huge gamer. And then they like go into the kitchen and make a big mess, which is fine. But my roommate's super cool. And then his name is Brian. And then the 2 guys next door, one's a tennis player. He's from
There you
New
go.
York. He's from New York, and then the other one's from LA. And they're super cool. So like just the 4 of us, we've been like going to meals together. It's cool. The only reason I'm even complaining is because like when I look at all the other little condos, they're like playing ping pong together and watching movies. I'm like, I want that, you know what I mean? But other than that, I had my first class this morning, and it was in a huge lecture hall, and it was physics, like 7 or something. And the professor was so cool, like so nice, so funny. He was making everybody laugh. So like that part of things, like that, like the academic side. Yo, yeah, you can come in. Yeah. Sorry.
Welcome to the Shannon Show.
This is Brian.
Brian.
I'm just talking, but yeah, you can.
That's what's up.
Please. What was I saying? Yeah, physics professor was so cool, super tight. Do you want me to move the camera?
Oh, no, it's fine.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right, and he super cool. So that I've only had 1 class, but that side of things seems super cool. So I'm really excited. I'm taking physics, calc, and then 2 engineering classes. So I'm definitely gonna have a decent workload.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, the physics professor, they gotta make everyone laugh on the first day because they're gonna be crying later on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like you gotta at least have a good first impression before everyone hates you.
Yeah, we had the whiteboards that you like slide up. You know what I mean? And the first one is blank, and he goes to slide it up, and it says, "Don't smile, you're gonna be crying soon."
Exactly.
Exactly. But yeah.
Yeah, first year engineering. I know it's different at every school, but it's tough. Especially like I did it all remotely, so that just adds like another element to it because it's kind of like you against the world kind of thing. Those are just the vibes whenever you take a Zoom class, especially college Zoom class.
Mad kudos to you because I can't even imagine. That's got to be tough.
Yeah, not fun stuff. But yeah, I'm glad you're doing it in person, and I think you're definitely like the year to do it. You kind of had like a little bit of a senior year, and you get like a real college first year.
Pretty thankful.
So fell in a pretty good window, I think, which works. Is Kiara going there too?
She isn't. She's in Long Beach. That's what I was telling you about the Long Beach drive. So Long Beach, I don't have a car. She does. She's just kind of like my chauffeur. But it's about 20 minutes from Irvine, so it's not bad.
That's literally nothing. You basically go to the same school.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
20 minutes. We just said 20 minutes is nothing.
Yeah.
Right down the street. Yeah.
Yep.
Kadena to Foster.
Exactly. It's like I go to Kadena High, she goes to Kubasaki. But yeah, her school's cool. That's really cool. She's in like the freaking nice dorm. Like I don't even have AC in here. She's got like beautiful like 5-star hotel vibes to her dorm. But it is what it is.
I'm glad it's like going off to a pretty good start so far. At least it seems like. Is that a giant TV behind you or a chalkboard or what?
It's like a bulletin board. It's just like kind of cardboard material with felt
I was
on
like,
it.
yeah. I'm like, this is pretty nice. Like, I don't
Yeah, I
know what
wish.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Right?
No,
How
it's
cool would
fine.
that be?
You mentioned tennis and surfing. I'm gonna start with Kubi tennis because Kubi tennis
Alright.
means a whole lot to me, and
Yeah.
I'm also very pissed. I'm pissed at you. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna
Absolutely
tell that
pissed.
story.
Big pissed. Big pissed. I gave my heart and soul to Kubasaki tennis, and anyone who knew me as part of Kubasaki tennis, that was literally my life.
Yep.
Not ashamed to admit that. Nothing more that I like than playing tennis
No.
for the Dragons and kicking some Panther ass. But Aden, who's a wonderful guy, I remember I met you my freshman year. You were an 8th grader. I was like, this is my dude, man. Like, I felt like I was the youngest one out there. So whenever I met someone younger than me, I'm like, holy shit, bro. I'm like, dude, we're gonna be best friends. Like, he's like, he's pretty bad, but like, I see the potential. Like, he's gonna be good. You know, he seems like a really cool guy. He's always smiling, like, pretty happy dude. So, you know, I'm like, we're vibing all season. I don't think we became like best friends or anything. And then for the next 2 or 3 years that I'm there, you were like, nope, not actually going to play tennis. Whenever the team was this close, like we got second place in Far East 2 years in a row. We were so close to getting over the hump, and we just needed like one more, like pretty solid boy player. And Aiden, do you want to tell them what you did instead? You went out with Miss Stevens
I should tell my
Okinawa countryside. What do you mean?
Start from the
You did
beginning.
cross country instead.
Yes,
You did
I
cross
know.
country.
Dude, you know how bad I feel about it. I think about it. I can't even tell you. How
You're
often
like, I can
think
barely
about it.
sleep at night.
I think
Bullshit,
about
man.
it all the time.
I told you like every day.
let
I'm
me
like,
tell a story,
Aiden,
let me
you
tell a
need to
story.
play tennis. Okay.
Let me tell a story. I grew up taking tennis lessons with my mom. I
We're
never like.
starting all the way back there.
Yeah. I like telling a story. I never was that passionate about it because I was young. You know, we're just like thinking balls.
Thinking ball.
8th grade comes around. It's when 8th graders could like come up and do sports. You know.
Yeah,
Ty
yeah.
Grubbs, who I'm like, is like my best friend. He's like, yo, come play tennis, like with Miss Davis, right? And I was terrified. I was
Shout out Miss
so
Davis.
scared. Because Kai Grubbs was always hanging around high schoolers. He had the volleyball team. He had the baseball team. All he could talk about in middle school was like, oh, I'm hanging around with high schoolers, which is cool. But we all thought we like not worshipped him because of it, but we were like, dude, you're so cool. You know what I mean?
It is true. That man, he grew up on those Kubasaki baseball
Exactly.
teams. Like I see
really
like old pictures. It's like it might as well be black and white. That's how old it looks. And there's
He's
Kai
like
Grubbs, like
fifth
baby
grade.
Kai Grubbs.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So I get there and like he's talking to all the, you know, like Marky Barley or whatever. I don't know if he was there that year, but he's talking to whoever. And like not leaves me, but I'm just like, we're like in Miss Davis's room, and this blonde kid who I'm trying to like make him, but I keep hearing people call him Shannon. I'm like, is that Shannon or is the girl next to him Shannon? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, now I'm like, dude, that's a sick name. I'm like, who is this? And he's got this super long hair. He's got the visor backwards. Comes up to me, and I'm like, he's like, yo, you seem cool, because I had super long blonde hair, and you had
we had the same haircut. We had the same like awful haircut.
Yeah, you were exactly. You were like, dude, I like your hair. I was like, thanks, man.
Yeah.
So scared. And you were like, yeah, you gotta keep playing tennis. It's awesome. Whatever. Whole season goes by. We're like, you know, kind of like you said, we're like kind of buddy, not like super close. And my dad, who's like a athlete, marathon guy, he's like, dude, you should just run cross country. It's so good for you. You know what I mean? You should just do it. He's like trying to convince me all year. I'm like, yeah. Because like when I was in 5th grade to kind of 7th grade, before I kind of started growing, I wasn't fat, but I was, you know, I was like a little chunky and blah, blah, blah. Kinda. If you like see pictures,
I love how far back the story has to continue to go to explain why you didn't play tennis for a few years. You have to make it so much deeper.
I'm just thinking of
like your
excuses,
excuse. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna wait. Just keep on going.
And I was like, you know, I didn't really know that many people. Like, it was fun, but it wasn't that fun. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't that into it yet.
You were an 8th grader. What do you expect? Like, you didn't know.
Exactly. I didn't know. And so I'm just thinking, like, you know, I'm a stupid freshman. I'm like, I want to be in shape. I want to be jacked. You know,
yeah.
Country is not how you get jacked. PSA. and so Shannon, this is exactly what happens. And these texts still haunt me. Shannon, you texted me probably 2 or 3 weeks before school starts my freshman year, and you go, hey man, like you're just full on assuming I'm playing tennis, which is awesome, by the way. And I have done,
as I should. You were on the team last year. You're going to high school.
That I have done what you did to me to so many kids, and I've gotten them to play tennis, but some of them have said no. And he goes, hey, we're having some like totally. I was so honored. He was like, hey, we're having some preseason practices at Kadena or wherever. If you want to come out, I'd love to see you, blah, blah. I was like, dude, this kid's thinking about me after like, because we didn't have classes freshman year. Like after the whole freshman year, you know what I mean? I was like, he thought to text me. I was like, what a guy. But I had already like made my decision to play cross country, and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry.
You don't play cross country, by the way. You just
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
sorry.
like it's just like
Run cross
obligated
country. I
cardio.
know,
You don't
I'm
play.
so used- I'm saying
You're like,
I'm so used to playing
I already
tennis.
committed to jogging after school, so therefore I cannot play tennis.
That's exactly right. I was like, I'm committed to running cross country. I'm really sorry. I've already been going to their preseason stuff. And you were so pissed at me.
I was pissed.
You were like, dude, what the heck? And then I'm trying to think. The next year, sophomore year comes, you do the same thing. You're like, hey, just to make sure.
Yeah, I remember. Like the previous text was still up there. Like whenever I was sending the new one.
I was the only time you ever texted. It was like, hey, just making sure if you want to come out, we're doing the same thing. And I told you again. Yeah. Then that year, we like really got to know each other. We had like a couple classes together, like stats and
yeah, it was my junior year. Yeah,
and Milanovich's classes where we really hung out. And you and Henry played tennis, so it was me, you, and Henry would sit together. You and Henry played tennis. Milanovich was the tennis or assistant coach, you know, whatever. And you guys would just drill me all year, even after the season was over. Imagine running cross country. I was like, bro. And honestly, I'm glad you did, because the abuse is partly what made me want to play tennis, but blah, blah, blah. And then so what happens is after junior year, Shannon moves. And that summer,
I moved back to the States.
He moves back to the States. He leaves his pride and joy. And I go, hey, just letting you know I'm playing tennis. So mad. You were like, after I leave, you play tennis? And I was so bummed too, because I knew during the year, I was like, I think I'm going to switch to tennis. But I wasn't telling, I was trying to act like a pro athlete, like keeping it on the down low.
Right.
And when you told me you moved, I was like, no, because I really want to play tennis with you. And I ended up like loving it, and I'll probably play tennis the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And I like quickly improved, and I started taking it pretty seriously. And this was my junior year, and I didn't do great in the matches. I was ranked number 3.
As long as you beat RJ, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and so I beat RJ. Like I started doing decent. It was fun. Like it was mainly like I did it for Henry. Like Henry and Kai convinced me, because I was like, you know what? Like I have nothing. I had nothing in cross country. Like I went to Far East my sophomore year for cross country. I didn't do well. It was like I was like, this isn't fun. Like why not play tennis with my best friends? And then I started taking it seriously. And like of course, you know, it causes some conflict. I'm like, all of a sudden now I'm competing against my best friend. So it's like me and Henry are very similar skill level the whole junior year. Yeah. And so, you know, that sucked, because it's like we do everything together. And then it's like now we have to play against each other. So for a while there, that wasn't too fun. But, you know, I ended up like super loving it. And then I went to Far East tennis, and we didn't do very well because, you know, we didn't have you, and our girls were terrible.
Yeah, I don't know who was left on the girls.
Yeah, it was just Willow and Natalie. But I mean, like even still. I mean, they did all right. Like, don't get me wrong. They're
Willow's fantastic.
I should not say
she
that.
Improved. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I shouldn't say that like because of the girls, because realistically, I did really bad too. I lost in like the 3rd round or something. So, but yeah, so we just, you know, I think we got 4th, but it was so fun. And then COVID hit, and I was so worried that we weren't going to get a tennis season with senior year without COVID, and we did. And then this is when Vincent had left. We won't go into Vincent because she is a crazy legendary coach, and I miss her a lot. And because the new coach, hopefully he's not watching this, was not great.
Oh really?
And, yeah. And I mean, dude, if you ever talk to Henry about him, Henry and him have had some interesting words, but
some beef. Yeah,
for sure. Because he's like, his thing is like, he acts mature, but really he's not, and he likes to beef with kids. Like they see things to piss him off, and like he says it back. It's like siblings. Like him and Henry are like siblings, and you're like, really? You're like, be mature. I'm hoping he's not watching this, because honestly, in the classroom, I loved the guy. He was a new culinary teacher. He was a great dude in the classroom.
No more Vanderbloemen?
No, Vanderbloemen switched to history. After like everyone was complaining about Noga, he was like, I'm gonna do something about this, and so he switched to history. But yeah, he is what he is. But he was a great teacher. He was just, as a tennis coach, he just wasn't as like crazy as Vincent, which was all right. But
I mean, just in comparison to Miss Vincent, though, like there's really like it's definitely a tough coach to follow.
That's like the top of the list compared to like it's hard. But yeah, it was good. I love tennis. And then so senior year, now I'm like reaching the top, and I'm Kai Grubbs is up there, and I'm like trying to be Kai Grubbs. And I like the new coach was like, he wanted us to do the challenge thing, like classic high school style. And I just like I felt weird challenging Kai Grubbs every week, so I didn't really do it. And I was a nice guy, and like there were some weeks where I knew Kai Grubbs was having like off days because you know how he is with like all his injuries.
He would like forget how to hit forehands or something.
Yeah, and I couldn't challenge him. So basically, what ended up happening was I never challenged him, because the way Kadena did it is they thought that it was just going to be Kai, me, Henry, Kai, me, Henry. So they're like at a classic high school, 1 always plays 1, 2 always plays 2, 3 always plays 3. They were like, well, we don't want to do that. We're like Kubi and Kadena. So they would just rotate Brett, RJ, and Justin to play all of us. So even if I went to number 1, they would just figure out who I haven't played yet to play. So I was like, whatever, I'll just wait. So then we have our like district tournament, and me and Kai Grubbs are winning all the way to the end, or maybe to the semifinals. I don't remember. And it's like, now this is me versus Kai Grubbs, and everybody's watching. And dude, it was a hell of a match. Like we played best 2 out of 3 sets. No, we must not have. I think we played.
This is crazy, like how parallel this is to like exactly what happened to me. Go ahead.
Oh, really? With
Kenneth? You with Kenneth and Garrett, just like my circle of 3 friends, and like rotating against Kadena.
It really is. It's very similar. And we played, and like there's people there actually people came, and it was like kind of a big deal. And I was doing really well. Like I broke him right away, and I think I was up, and then he started coming back. And then all of a sudden, he just could not serve. And like he was double faulting like crazy. And we ended up going, and it ends up being, it was 8-7. I'm up, but you have to win by like 2 or whatever. And so I'm serving. Wait, no. I'm trying to remember.
You good?
I think it was 8-7, and I'm serving to make it 9-7 and win. And I'm like winning. I think I get it to 40-30. And I kid you, I think about this point all the time. I don't remember the score, but I think about this point. Beautiful serve in. Kai Grubbs gets it. I hit a nice forehand to his backhand in the back corner. And he barely gets it and does his slice thing, but really high. And I'm like, this is it. I just have to hit this smash. And I go to kill it, and I hit it out. And that was match point. And I hit it out, and he won that game, and he came back and won like 10-8. It was like the most intense match ever, and he won. But I mean, like there was like, that was the only match ever that I would grunt. Like there were some points that I grunted. Like at the end, like we were both crying. It was so intense, dude. It was like the most intense tennis match of my life. And it was great. He won, like I just wanted to say I beat him once, but I technically never beat him. And yeah, it was good. It was all in good times now. There's nothing really we could do. And immediately after that, a month later, he stopped playing tennis, and I could wreck him now, I'm sure. But it's like, it is what it is. It was very fun. But yeah, now I will hold tennis near and dear to my heart. Sadly, not with you though.
No, it's cool. You know what? The beef is squashed. I think we're good. I was holding on to it until this very second, but I think we're good.
We'll have to meet up and play one day.
Ton of for sure. I'm trying out for the Penn State club team. That's this weekend. I think I'm going to make it, which is very exciting. The travel team.
I didn't know you were still playing.
So we're going to get to move around, all sorts of stuff. But I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, ton of respect to Kai Grubbs, because after my sophomore year, Kenny and Garrett both moved, so it was like pretty clear that Kai Grubbs was going to be my doubles partner. And like he put in a lot of work, because he just knew that like I was going to have high expectations of him, because I'm trying to win Far East every year. And he worked his ass off going into that season, just make himself like much better player. And it paid off. Did he ever tell you about the doubles match we had? We were down 2-5 in Far East, and against EJ King or something. And he just flipped the switch, and we came back. It was fantastic. So Yeah, he's
I know
he's
he
great.
does that. Like we had a like a little tournament. I think we called it districts, and we called like our district East or whatever,
Districts.
where me and him were doubles partners, and this might have been my junior year actually. I kind of think it was, yeah, where we were in the semifinals playing Matt Steele. Do you know Matt Steele?
I hate that kid. Sorry.
Yeah.
So much Matt Steele slander.
Matt Steele and Justin, because they're 3 and 4.
Justin's cool.
We're thinking this should be we're thinking this should be an easier match. Like I had played Justin, beaten him, lost to him, blah blah. But Kai Grubbs was definitely beating both of them, and I had beaten Matt Steele. So we're thinking, all right, we should do this. We're like struggling, and Kai Grubbs kind of goes into like his shutdown mode, where like we're no longer really talking. He's kind of just like,
he does, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
gotta reel him back in.
Yeah, and like it was really tough, and we won. We were playing 8, and we won 9-7. So it was like by the skin of our teeth. And I remember after that, we talked to Milanovic, and like Kai Grubbs was crying, and I was about to cry because he was like, dude, what are you guys doing? He's like, you're not talking to each other. You're not playing normal tennis. You're not playing at the net.
Yeah.
We're like, you're right. And we talked to each other. We like shaped up, and then we went to play RJ and Brett in the finals, and we won like 8-1. We like wrecked them.
Yeah.
And I pretty much played the same, both. I like the first one, like I don't want to say I was playing better than Kai Grubbs, but I was definitely not caring, but like that was my junior year, dude. Oh my God, I would just ace people. My serve was like on fire. So like that would help. And then come our finals match, oh dude, Kai Grubbs just kept hitting winners down the line. It was like they had no chance. And meanwhile, this is RJ and Brett who were like supposed to be the better of them. It was, it was good.
RJ and Brett, I always thought they were just like, I thought they were funny, to be honest. Like just watching them go out there. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
RJ was like in our friend, like me, Henry, Kai Grubbs, and RJ all went to middle school together, and we were so mad at him, kind of like you mad at me, that he went to Kadena. We were like, what the hell, dude? Like you're supposed to go to Kubi with this. But imagine, like if we would have had RJ at Kubi. I know RJ is an interesting tennis player.
Bro, that poor guy. I used to just
like. If we would have had him at Kubi though, dude, we might have had a chance. Like from freshman year, you guys probably would have won Far East that year.
He was not ready. Like he didn't like the intensity that I took into Kubasaki tennis, which is like way overboard, way more than what was probably necessary. But just like putting that all on him every week, like I don't know how he was like okay. Like I don't know how he wasn't depressed. Like just because I would come up with like the face paint, just like blaring music, just like full on intensity.
Just wreck it.
Yeah. Which I mean, it's not about the score. It's not. We're just all here to have a good time.
Exactly. But it is kind of about the score.
It's 100% about the score. We don't lose to Kadena. FIFO, whatever. Milanovic, I have to say something about Milanovic because he doesn't get enough credit for this. You know, we talk about like his stats or whatever and whatnot, but like those like 2 seasons that I had him like in my corner, you know, just like talking to me. He always knew like when to talk to me, when not to talk to me, when to leave me alone, and he always like reminds you what makes you a good player. And he's like he's not a tennis expert by any stretch of the imagination. No, and he's not even like that good, but like he does know what he's saying whenever he's just trying to support you on the court. And you know, that's really valuable to have in a coach. I
mean, it seems like he's been around tennis his like whole life, and he grew up in like tennis central. So and he's the kind of guy who's like me and you and Henry, like we love Milanovic and we're close to him, but like he can be a little awkward at times, you know what I mean? But he goes out of his way to talk to you because like he doesn't always like love talking to people. So if he's going out of his way to talk to you, you know he like really wants you to do well, and it means a lot to him. So yeah, definitely probably one of my all-time favorite teachers, and will always be one of my all-time favorite teachers. But yeah, and he like matched the intensity that I brought as well, which like meant a lot to me because like I would come in, I'd just be talking tennis because like I didn't even tell you about this. Like I read the Stars and Stripes like scoreboards of all the tennis matches in the Pacific, like throughout the tennis season. Yeah, because I need to see who like the competition and whatnot is. Even the year after I left, I would like read and see if your dumbass lost or something. You know, I'd always be checking out. I'm like, Kai Grubbs, what is going on? He'd get so annoyed with me because he lost 1 week. I'm like, what is this? What is this? And, he's like, Shan, leave me alone. But yeah, I made like these big old packets. One sec.
Go ahead. We have visitors. What's going on? Who are these guys?
And I told them about your show, and they looked you up.
That means a lot. It really does. Nice piano.
Content, Shannon.
What?
They said quality content.
I appreciate that.
Well, it's nice seeing you, Shannon.
He says it's nice.
Nice,
seeing
nice meeting you as well, gentlemen.
You. He says it's nice to meet you guys.
I'll make sure to watch.
I said gentlemen.
They're
As
gonna
you
watch.
should.
He called you guys gentlemen. He said they're gonna watch my episode.
Nice. Well,
It's a banger.
Shannon. See you later, guys. See you.
So yeah, that's cool. I'll be out in a little bit. But yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, Milanovic. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. That was so random. That
Those
was
are the
like,
guys next door who are super cool. Those are really cool
you know,
guys.
the like 3 people who fall around Dora, like after like the marching band or whatever. That's what they remind me.
I don't know what I didn't really
Yeah,
watch Dora.
Okay, maybe it was before your
I will
time.
say I watched Dora more than I did watch Diego, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Dora was hot. No question.
Dude, I remember having a crush on Dora. Why do little kids have crushes on cartoons?
I mean, I think
Maybe we
cartoons are like
shouldn't go
low
into
key
that.
sexualized. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah,
It depends what
maybe.
cartoon. Dude, Kim Possible. Do you ever watch Kim Possible? She was hot.
Okay, that was my favorite show.
That was
ever.
back when I valued like
Ever.
personality and substance, and now I'm just like a
Yep.
pathetic
I
human.
totally thought Kim Possible was all personality. I would beg my parents to go to the Cadena PX back when we used to have to rent movies. There was no Netflix or anything, and I would beg them to rent a Kim Possible CD every night. It was the best thing ever. I was the biggest. I never watched Kim. I always watched Kim Possible,
Dude, that midriff,
the cutoff tank,
the
you
red
know,
hair.
the little bit. So I don't. Yeah. But yeah,
There was something about like a strong, independent woman who like fights back.
Yeah, she would like pull out the grappling hook. I was like,
She like reaches up. You just,
but yeah. So yeah, what were we
it's
saying?
terrible.
This is bad.
Any other cartoons? Should we just get it all out?
Nah, I think we should stop.
My show's gonna get canceled. My all my
Yeah, it
sponsors
is.
are gonna
You guys-
drop
You're gonna
me.
get. Wait, what is that? The thing that YouTube people say? Are you like
Demonetized.
monetized? Is
I'm
that
not
you?
monetized. Not
Dang,
even
you should be
close.
monetized just so we can demonetize you.
That'd be so much fun.
Demonetize you. But yeah,
Imagine demonetizing the Shannon show.
yeah, that'd be bad. But yeah,
Assholes.
so tennis was good. I loved it. It was. I'm hoping that there's like some kind of intramural tennis here that I'll play, but I haven't done any research into it. I'm just trying to like start school. I literally had my first class today, so after that, I'll maybe start thinking about tennis again. But my racket's like right there, so yeah.
Yeah, man. Not much more to say about Kubasaki tennis. Heart and soul, like I said, means a whole lot. I think about it often.
I have a story actually.
Glory days.
Well, I'm just gonna tell some stories about stats because that was that was one of my favorite classes because it was
you know what I still do
What?
before every test I take, I listen to the Flash Gordon song.
I was just gonna
listen
say.
every single time. I still listen to that song.
We used to do that all the time because Milanovic had a thing. Instead of like Flash, I would say stats, or you would say stats, and then I would be like, dude, all the time. I can't believe you still remember that. That's pretty funny.
I still play it. I had an exam 2 days ago, and I listened to it beforehand. It's like tradition. I say it's good luck, but I'll get 40 on an exam after listening to it.
Maybe you should stop listening to it. But yeah,
No, I will not.
Like those were such good times. Milanovic would make us crack up, and he would always just flip flops on the desk, phone in hand. He was such a chill teacher. One of my other favorite things that we would do is we had our desks were like kind of like you know what I'm talking about?
Pushed together. It was like the three of us.
And we were all facing each other, but we were all taller guys. You know, Shannon's huge. I'm like 5'10". Henry's like 5'11". And these are like tiny little desks, and we would all want to stretch our legs, but we would always like crisscross legs, and we're like,
I forgot about that.
You know what I mean? And so Shannon came up with this thing where it was like we had 3 positions: position A, position B, and position C. Like position A, me and Henry would like bring our legs in so Shannon could stretch his legs out. Like position B was me, and so randomly throughout the class we would be like position C, and so we would like stretch our legs out, like bring our legs out.
I totally forgot about that, bro.
It was just so like we could all stretch our legs because our legs were so long.
We would like announce it too.
Yep, and everybody
So
was like,
stupid.
good times.
Yeah, nothing like 3 dudes having a few positions.
Yep.
Coordinated. It's fantastic. I totally forgot about that. That's hilarious. Yeah, that class was so much fun. And I don't want to spoil anything, but like watch out for Mr. M, might be getting an appearance here soon or something crazy. But but like the way he like wrote his own textbook and like made
Yeah.
stats like an experience. I think that's
Oh
like
yeah.
which is crazy.
my
Like just
gosh.
for any school subject, like the way that he connected with students was so unique.
I mean,
Um,
I feel so bad hearing about like people here who like took stats in high school and they just go through chapter to chapter in a textbook.
yeah,
And
people like hate
whenever
stats.
I think of stats, I don't really think of numbers or words. I only
Nope.
can think of like the
Gnomes.
pictures and flash and gnomes and sharks and
Yeah, which might be a bad thing
serial
because
killers and
I don't remember too much about the numbers,
oh
but
no, yeah, I mean, oh, you passed though, right? We passed.
yeah, I got a 4 and he bumped my grade up because he gave me a B for the semester.
Me too, yeah, because he was like, I'm feeling 3, and I was like, all right, and then I got a 4, and
I
he
was
bumped
like,
it up.
yeah, exactly. I had to
exactly,
email him
exactly.
after I got back to the States. I'm like,
I
yeah,
was
I'm
so
like
excited.
that. I literally, you know who made
Yeah.
those grades? It was freaking Lana. Lana made the grades for him, I swear. He's like, so what do you
Oh,
think
lit.
they would get here? Because she graded our FRQs all the time,
Uh-huh.
which none of us tried on. And then he was like, what do you think you would get on this, Lana? And then she's like, oh, he'd get a 3 for sure. Whatever. Lana and I are cool, but
Yeah, I
just
know you guys are.
his little posse, Atlanta, Emily Campbell,
I know.
little Milanovic gang,
Who else? Emily wasn't in our class, but
Lily.
was in our class, and Luke was in our class, and Abe was in our class. Looking back, like that was like a pretty stacked class.
Dude, I got robbed in the gauntlet. Were we on the same gauntlet team? Were we?
I don't remember.
I feel like we definitely had to have been. We threw the
were.
water balloon back and forth together, right? Was that me and you? Or am I
Might have
making
been you
stuff
and
up?
Henry. I remember like at the end, all the
Shit.
seniors had kind of just dipped. So like the final gauntlet was just like me and Henry for ours, but I don't think you were on our team.
That's
can't
crazy.
remember.
I used the hair dryer. Did you? Not you.
No,
Damn.
ours was like because Luke Mosley was on our team and he just
Oh,
like
then
started
no.
skipping the last days.
Yeah.
And so it was just me and Henry. And ours used water and we made a cutout of Luke Mosley and we cut a hole right where his dong would be. And so the end, it peed water and it was Luke Mosley peeing. Hopefully he's not watching this because
I don't remember that at all. Are you serious?
But yeah, because I think everybody had already like.
Was this the same year, or did you do it again the next year?
No, it was the same year.
It had to have been, dude. I feel like I would remember.
I feel like we were on different teams. I don't remember, but it was like Luke Mosley peeing, and then it went down, and then it knocked over a Coke bottle, and it like filled up a Coke or something. But yeah, that was about it.
That's crazy.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
but we did the gauntlet this year,
innovative.
which was because he was only doing it like he didn't do it the year COVID hit, because that was my sophomore year, and then he did it again senior year, but kind of fell apart. We only had like a couple of days to do it, so nobody actually got a working GoPro machine. So it just kind of turned into like everyone hang out since like he was like super chill at the end, and so anytime you had an AP class, like you know how AP happens in end of May, so like all of June and like pretty much the whole May, I have all these AP classes and I'm not doing anything, and he would email the teachers. He'd be like, "Hey, I need Aden to come work on this thing," and then we would just like eat chips and salsa in there. That's pretty fun. But yeah, shout out to Mr. M. What a guy.
Honestly, I don't even know how was the gauntlet even like allowed. Like he's gonna reserve this room for people to just like build random shit that nothing to do with stats. Honestly, it's so cool.
The
So
assistant
cool.
principal came for like a day of ours, and like we kind of all like acted like we knew what we were doing, and yeah, she loved it. So I don't know.
Crazy. How was the new principal and vice principal after Dr. Mowen left? REP Dr. Mowen, by the way.
RIP. What a guy, man. I was pretty sad about that. That sucks.
Me too. That hit. That really hit.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of a while ago. What was it, like a year now?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's been
about
a while.
year?
I think they.
I mean, that man changed Gooby.
Seriously, I think this year, after I'd already left, I think they planted a tree, like a cherry blossom tree for him, which is really cool. So shout out to Gooby for that. But
he deserves more than that, man. Like,
oh yeah, seriously. But so Mr. Straight, you never met Mr. Straight,
cool.
did you?
No, I know one thing about Mr. Straight. One thing. He's probably a nice guy. He won like some award. Didn't he get like principal of the year or something crazy? He removed my name from the tennis wall. That was him.
Yep.
And you know what? I just have to say that hit hard. You know, that really hurt my feelings. That was messed up. He called it vandalism.
Pissed about that.
Chowder painted it on there for me.
I know, and that was like. I was really hoping that I would get my name on the wall under.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like everyone, it was Kai Grubbs, Aden, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a rule follower for sure. He's very much of a stickler. He's nice. He has good intentions, but things like I have really nothing against him, and I kind of had a one-on-one relationship with him. Like he knew my name, but really that was about it. Whenever he would like try to get things done, they would definitely happen pretty slowly, and it was a pretty slow process. Like nothing really happened too quick. Nothing was very rushed, but he was definitely a pretty rule follower stickler. There were a couple things after a while he realized like, all right, I have no control over this, but like stuff like the tennis ball, like he would never have approved that. You know what I mean? And then the VP, because there was a year we had a different VP my junior year.
Yeah.
She was actually really cool my junior year one. She was also a rule follower, but you know, like she was nice. And then this year's VP, again, hoping no one's listening to this.
They're all listening.
I hope all the Shans are listening, but I hope
honestly they better come out, better support.
Honestly, okay. What is her name? Miss Pilon, if you were listening to this, I thought you were very nice. But like cracked down on people and like wasn't letting anything happen and was like just shutting down events left and right. Like we try to do a senior sunrise, which is like a thing, right?
Pretty normal, yeah.
Super common. We're talking like during our first, like pretty much first 3 weeks of senior year this year was online, and then the rest was in person. During this privately sponsored, like just Snapchat group chat, you know what I mean? And word got out and they try to shut it down. Like people die at these events. This is very scary for COVID. I'm like, this is like 50 friends who are, it's like, you know, it's getting a little public. So it's like maybe 40 people were planning on going. So it's like, you might not know everybody there, but it's like realistically, this is a small group of people who are going to do a thing. We're not affiliated with the school at all, just because we all go here. That's what they were worried about. They were worried that like parents would be like, you're the reason my kid got COVID. When realistically, all the school has to say is, why did you let your kid go to it? You know what I mean? It wasn't during school hours, blah, blah. I don't know. Not going to go into there. So yeah. But other than that, they were fine. You can't ever top Mowen, but you know.
Yeah, Mount was just different, man. Like he was strict as well about certain things. Like he wanted there to be rules. I remember he had this big no cell phone policy, which was like crazy to us. But I mean, like the way he rejuvenated the school spirit made it all worth it. Because Kubi was dead, man. It was dead my freshman year before you got there. I mean, it was just no one wanted to go to Kubi. Everyone who was at Kubi wished they were at Kadena. It was just kind of like
your freshman year.
Yeah, my freshman year.
Yeah, it was that. What was her name? The principal.
Davis? Was it Davis as well?
No, the principal.
Yeah, I think
honestly, it might have
Davis.
been. Yeah, but I heard nightmares about her. Like even from the staff and teachers. Like
she wanted to cut football funding. She wanted to get rid of the football team. I'm pretty sure because it caused CTE, which we were like, that's the best part. But it's honestly remarkable what he was able to do, and it was like just like these little simple like exterior things, like appearance wise.
His whole attitude was like, hey, I'm on your team, you know what I mean? Like we're in this together. And he was just like so nice to kids, and he would say hi to you. I'm not saying the other guys wouldn't, but it felt way more like artificial, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was very real. And like the man was not in like great health conditions either a lot of the time.
He would talk about it. Like he wasn't the kind of guy. Like nobody knew he was as sick as he was. Like he would walk around campus all the time. And I was like, this guy is fine. And then we hear that he has to take a job at the DSO because of his health. And then next thing you know, he passed away, which sucks. But
I mean, he'd come out to our baseball games, you know, in the Okie heat, it's like 100 degrees outside. And he's like out there in his, you know, suit jacket and all with the Kubi baseball hat on, supporting these kids who he doesn't actually know our names, but he sees us around school all the time. You know, that means a lot, you know, that like he connected that much with people who are so much younger than him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what a principal should do, you know?
And it does mean more because Kubi's so small too, compared to like a big stateside school.
Seriously, it's tiny.
He did it.
Like, I think
how long was he there?
40... Huh?
How long was he there? 2 or 3 years?
2 years.
Yeah, that's
my freshman and sophomore year.
And a huge impression.
Maybe 3 years. Freshman, sophomore.
Maybe 3. Yeah.
No, freshman, sophomore. My junior year after she came.
My sophomore, junior.
Yeah. Crazy.
I'll never forget watching him every like school dance or anything. Like he'd always be out there dancing on the dance floor with us. It'd be like I'd be like a little scared to go out to dance. I see Dr. Mowen putting the moves on. I'm like, well, I got to get out there now. You know what I mean?
I agree.
That man, he had a little jig going on. He was great.
I do remember that. That's funny. You got anything else? I wrote some notes, by the way.
Oh, you spelled my name wrong, sir.
Did I? Oh, is it one
Disgusting.
N?
Yeah, it is one N. It's always been one N. Does that make up for Leggio?
Yeah, that does make up for
All right, we're even. Except people have to watch all the way till down to know.
fast.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's true.
offended. I'm not offended.
Yeah, it's whatever. But I wrote a couple notes just in case I forgot.
What were your
I was
notes?
trying to-
I didn't. Honestly,
No,
guys, by the way,
I just wrote.
he didn't
talk
have
about
any notes,
tennis,
so.
talk
Mhm.
about Kai Grubs, talk about stats, and talk
I like how
about
Kai Grubs is a bullet point.
yeah, yes, dude. Kubasaki. If anybody's name should be on the Kubasaki's walls, it should be Kai Grubs. Not on the tennis ball. Not on the tennis ball. Just the walls in general. Like, he
Sure,
should have,
sure.
like, he should
Every
have, like,
wall,
Yeah.
every single vertical surface.
Seriously, dude.
He
still wears,
really grew
like-
up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I still throw on a Kubi shirt every now and then.
Dude, I did too. Like, I
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
folding my it's mostly like workout shirts, and
Mhm.
like 5 or 6 or 7 of them are from QB tennis or soccer or just in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, how are you? How was school?
Going well, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Actually, second year engineering, not too bad so far.
Yeah.
Like everything makes sense. I'm not gonna like physics 2 last
Mhm.
year, like the second half of my freshman year, that kicked my ass.
Yeah.
That was tough. But yeah, the subjects so far are making sense. Everything's good.
Nice.
Hopefully it doesn't just like randomly fall apart one day.
Yeah. I mean, it's good when you
Honestly, that's such
understand.
a big part of it. It's just like at least you know what's going on.
Mhm.
Because there's definitely like a certain point in some classes where you're like, dude, like,
Yeah,
I
That was
just
me
switched to
in
business.
Chem last year.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me don't take AP Chem.
No,
and
AP Chem sucked.
tried, and I was like so lost. I was like, this
Did you
is the
take
first
it?
time.
Who'd you take it with?
Calvin.
Yeah, same. There's nothing wrong with Miss Calvin,
No,
bro.
she is great. It's just like the way she lectures. It's very hard to engage. You know what I mean?
I feel like nothing like ever made sense. Like I feel like I was just constantly learning new information. I didn't know how to apply any of it
Exactly.
all the time.
Exactly. I was so lost, and I would
Mhm.
think I got because like I would just like basically it was like I was just like learning
Yeah.
the machine. Like what did they say? Like the monkey learning the machine. I never actually conceptualized anything that was happening. I would just like learn how to get an answer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then I would after this unit test or chapter test, I would dump it in the trash on my way out, and that was
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, that's another thing about college is like I had to change the way I learned for sure. Like the way I took in information because in high school, well, in high school I didn't really learn. I just cheated on like everything. Aiden keeps
At
in
least
his
be
notes.
honest,
Yeah, I'm not gonna. What are they gonna do? They're gonna suspend me now.
right?
But yeah, I didn't put in like a whole lot of work in high school. Like I was obviously on the test, I did well. Like I'm not stupid. But I mean, high school is not really difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. High school's kind of light work, other than like some of the AP classes. Those can be.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like regular high school classes are a breeze. Okay, once you get to college, like there's definitely a different level of comprehending that is necessary that I was trying to avoid. I was like, I'll just treat it like high school. We'll make it. And
Yeah.
yeah, do not recommend. Had to bank that adjustment.
I can't say I can relate yet because I've only had one
Mhm.
class.
Yeah.
But I can kind of tell that like I'm gonna have to just
Mhm.
study and just like try to make sure I fully understand what's happening to the point where it's like I feel like I could do this easily because
Mhm.
I know come the tests and stuff it's gonna get harder than I think. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm gonna really need to have a good understanding.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
last year, like I thought it was like I wasn't studying enough. It's not necessarily like the time you study. It's like it sounds so corny because this is what like teachers used to tell us. It's how you study, and like
Yeah.
it really is. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was super frustrating because I was like I'm spending all these hours studying, like reading the textbook, and that's just not necessarily the most effective way to do it.
True that.
You have to really understand it. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you like just for a second about surfing. How much time do we have? Oh wait,
Yeah.
it's actually been hell a long time.
Sorry.
No worries
I
though.
honestly,
But I know
I
you.
was thinking. Sorry, side note. I was thinking. I was like, how am I gonna think about things to talk about for an hour? And now it's like we're way over an hour.
Oh, it's a
But,
breeze. It's crazy. This
it's
is how it
fast.
usually goes, honestly. Like I just have,
Fast.
yeah, it goes pretty fast.
Surfing. Do you have questions, or do you want me to just go?
Yes, I can think of questions. I'm a podcast host. Let's think about this. When did you? I feel like when I first met you, you were not super into surfing. But then the next year, I remember Carolina and I would like kind of make fun of you. We'd be like, "Oh yeah, bro, I was surfing all weekend." We'd imitate you and Henry as a joke, obviously. Like I wish I could surf. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah.
But tell me how you got started, and then like I don't know how you like slowly became obsessed and why.
So I hope hold on, side note to that. I've always tried.
You're like, it all started when I was 2 years old.
Right?
I was out in the waves.
I've always tried. I really do actually like surfing because in the core surfing world, that's what they call it. That's what if you ever hear someone call themselves a core surfer, you know they probably actually surf. In the core surfing world, we make fun of people who just want to look like surfers. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's me though. But like,
yeah, like not like you, not I'm saying like Richard. I'm saying like guys on TikTok who are like shirtless, but they still wearing like their Converse, like posing with the surfboard, but the surfboard doesn't even have fins.
Sure.
That's what I'm talking about. I've always tried to portray the attitude that I actually like surfing. So I think in beginning of 8th grade, right about my dad was doing he was paddleboarding a lot, and his friend who he worked with was also paddleboarding with him because he was like he's like a long time surfer. Like he grew up surfing in Hawaii and Okinawa, and then right when he was like 40, he was like, whatever, he hung it up, and then now he's like 55 and he's with my dad and he's in amazing shape still. And they were like paddleboarding, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll get in the water, it's been a while. So they're like paddleboarding, they're like making it a habit, every once in a while to paddleboard. Then there's like, they see some waves and they're like, yeah, let's go mess around, you know what I mean? And so this guy who is on a paddleboard, not even a surfboard, all of a sudden like picks it right back up and it's like catching waves like it's nothing on this paddleboard, like small little ankle biters, And he's like, wow, you can actually surf on a paddleboard. So they look it up, and it's actually a thing. Like surfing on a paddleboard is a thing. Like they make paddle surfboards. And so then the two of them, this is during the summer while I'm in the States, because I used to go to the States in the summers with my mom, which is why I wasn't always there. And they're like starting to get into paddle surfing. They both buy paddle surfboards, blah, blah. So I come back and my dad's like, I'm into this thing called paddle surfing. And Henry that summer had also gone to Bali and kind of started surfing. And so Henry bought a surfboard. And so I go out with Henry, and Henry's like, you want to go surfing? I'm like, I don't know how to surf. So I was like, I'll just body surf. Like I know how to play around the waves. So Henry gets in on a board, and I just get in with no board. And I'm like, just messing around. And we're out there for like an hour, and I think Henry caught like one wave. But I was like, dang, that was sick. And then my dad like just happens to also be like, hey, you want to come try to paddle surf? So I go out on a paddle board, like a 12-6 paddle board, and I actually catch like 5 waves on a paddle board. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I never in my head realized how big waves were, because even though we were out there, I'm like, we went to a spot called Miyagi, which is like almost a quarter mile off the shore. I've only ever seen reef or shore break, you know what I mean? So I'm like, wow, the ocean is like up and down. I'm like, all of a sudden I was like super humble. Like this is the cheesiest story ever. I'm like super humbled. I'm like, holy cow, this is like, a powerful thing. You know what I mean? Like catching a couple waves. I'm like, dude, the ocean, like if you ever go out,
the
like,
ocean is a powerful place, bro.
Shut up. That's what I'm saying. That's why I started with. I'm not trying to seem like cowabunga. But yeah, so I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. So I buy a surfboard. I'm like starting to mess around with Henry. We start like watching surfing videos, and we just all of a sudden we're going like multiple times a week, and it's like we sucked at first. We would always go to spots, and we never like we talked about it, but like we were like we weren't trying to be like dicks about it. And so we went around and we just started surfing, and then my dad would always paddle surf, and then it helps that my dad could drive, and he was also getting addicted to it. But it's honestly, it's an addicting thing. It really is. Like the feeling is, again, it sounds so cheesy. The feeling of like when you first learn to surf, you just catch the white water. You know how like the wave breaks, then it's white water crumble. You just catch the white water. The feeling of actually catching a wave, they call it the green water, in here before it breaks and riding a clean surface of a wave is like, you're like, whoa, it's like, it's unique, and it's not easily accessible. It's like you have to try. And so the effort that goes into it, and then you actually do it, it's like very rewarding feeling. And then you like start to do like bigger waves, and you start to get thrill, and then it starts to get dangerous, and like you're like, I could actually hurt myself, and then that's about it. And then me and Henry finally, we both had longboards, got all the way down to like high performance shortboards. And at this point we had surfed, probably over 100 times. And then it's like we were like trying to figure out whatever we could do to get like the biggest, best waves, and we would go out for like 4 hours at a time. And I just surfed here in California for
Yeah.
the first time, and I was like, "Holy cow, waves here are really good at this like big spot." And I actually went to a spot. It's called Trestles. It's like famous. Literally, I surfed it 5 mornings in a row, and then they had the competition, the WSL competition there. So I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a pretty good spot." But it was like, I'm like, holy cow, the waves are huge. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much my surfing story.
The surfing story.
The board is right there. I have a little board rack
That's
on
awesome.
my bike, so I bike down to the beach when I want to surf, and that's about it.
That's already so.
I try not to be like, oh yeah, I surf. So yeah.
But like if it comes up, then like I'll mention it maybe or whatever. It's really nothing. No, it's really cool. Like I wouldn't blame you. I feel like if I was like a surfer, like it would definitely become like my entire personality. No shame.
And it's one of the things. It's like it's tough because like a lot of people call themselves a surfer, and they feel attachment to it because it takes a lot of hours of your time. A lot of guys wake up every morning and they're spending hours away from their family. This and this. Where like you get guys who surf like once a summer, and you're like, oh yeah, I surf, and you're like, dude, you're shut up, like you know what I mean? So that's the only. But definitely speaking, real surfers are the worst. Like there's always people who say surfers are the worst because you know we're all dicks. We all want the same wave. It's not like snowboarding where the mountain doesn't leave. There is a finite resource of waves, and when you have
that's not even true. Water, you're making it seem so much more dramatic.
When you have coops, you get in the water.
There's only so many waves.
No, there is not. There are so many bad waves. There are very few good waves.
And there's only more waves the next day. Like the
surfer,
moon ain't going anywhere.
I hope nobody surfs because more waves for me.
Is that?
Yeah.
What's the surfing community like? Are you guys all really supportive?
No, that's what I said. Surfers are the worst. No, not at all. We are selfish. We are greedy. We want to be the only ones who surf. COVID hit us hard. I say us like I'm a part of a community. But it's just like, dude,
I don't even know what you even call it. Surfers United.
COVID made everybody go outside, and so it made all these adult learners and kooks who are really bad get in the water, and now it's like all of a sudden you're dodging kooks on your way in, which it's whatever.
Kooks? Is that like amateurs?
Yeah, that's like if you ever want to see the funniest surf page, follow Kook of the Day on Instagram. It's really funny.
Nothing better than like amateur shaming. Like we're
talking like people like sunscreen all over their face, walking
the worst
with their leashes around their necks, like trying to, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I love all people. I'm not a hater.
Not to be racist.
No, I never said that. I never said that.
I should make a trailer and make that be like the first cut. Just be like, welcome to the show, Aden Leggio. No. Not to be racist, guys. No, I would never. No,
I'm just kidding. I don't care. I'm pretty sure I have nothing to lose. Most of the people watching this don't go to
It's been a good time.
So. Yeah. Well, is that it?
Yeah, it's mostly like Kubikins. I don't have anything else, honestly.
Yeah, I don't either. It has been fun. Not just being on the show, but also catching up with you.
Absolutely, sir.
We should keep in touch better.
You know what? I might just say the exact same thing. That was a great idea. Actually, I think we should do another one with you, Henry, and Kai.
I think that would be pretty cool.
I think that would be really cool because I would love to hear like some of those tennis matches from like other perspectives because I'm sure they're like probably listening to this and being like, that's not what happened or something like that.
Yeah.
So
and even outside of tennis, we have a lot of.
I would love to do that. Yeah, that would honestly be that would be really cool because I talked about you guys had like some inflatable boat or something that you like were like going around it. I talked to Kai Grubbs about that a while ago.
Oh yeah.
But, I'd love to get into all those stories and whatnot. Did you guys ever go into the hospital?
Yeah, we did.
You did? Oh, dude, that was me. But I told Kai Grubbs how to get.
Really?
I told him how to get in.
Dude,
yeah.
The best part is Kai Grubbs chickened out. I will admit. Well, your light just shut off. Stop talking about the hospital, bro.
Oh, we're good. Honestly, man. Whenever I tell people about the hospital, they're like, dude, you were the one who got into the hospital?
I know.
That's like the number one reason why people still like reach out to me from Cuba. Apparently.
I am definitely scared of that kind of thing. Like, just like I was just like I didn't want to go to the morgue, so we got in on the top, right? And we were like, oh, we'll just go down, and we get to like the second floor, and Kai Grubbs is like, I'm out, and so he dips.
Really?
And so I'm trying to think who was with us. It was me, Henry. There was somebody else.
Kai Grogan?
Yes, Kai Krogan.
How did I know? How do
you know? I have a really bad
I love Krogan.
Oh my god, dude! I don't know how we didn't talk about Krogan. One of the coolest, most down to earth people I've ever met. I miss them so much. But yeah, we go down, and the whole time I'm like, guys, let's just dip. And I'm like, I'm not gonna leave. I'm not gonna chicken out, I'm like, let's just go. And they're like, no, we're gonna go to the morgue. And then we get to the first floor, and then like we hear something, and we're like, all right, we're out. But they were like trying to go down to the basement, and then literally the next week, Peyton, I think Henry told Peyton about it. Do you know Peyton Powers?
Yes, I hate that guy so much.
I know. What a guy. But he was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. Goes in, gets caught. Somebody calls the cops on him. Gets like 100 hours of community service. I was like, so. By the way, if anyone's listening, I did not go into the hospital.
Bro, we did, and we were so stupid about it. Like, we were not low key at all. We went in the middle of the day, like literally like broad daylight. We went to the very top. We were throwing things off the roof right in front of the lesser gate. We were playing music on a speaker at the top of the hospital. We didn't get caught. Like, they 100% saw us, but just like nothing happened.
It was probably back before they realized they could do.
They just like didn't care. It was it was one of the craziest things ever. It was scary in there too. We spent like hours in there. Like, we were in there for a while. There was like this one room where like a bunch of like sick kids were, and they all signed this wall, and they wrote like a bunch of messages, like probably some of their last days on Earth. Anyways, really sad stuff.
You know what is creepy? I found the room I was born in, since I was born in that hospital.
Bro, Garrett was also born there, dude. Literally, our friend group is just like like a year apart, but like the same stories. Disgusting.
That is weird. I know, seriously.
It's actually pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
It's kind of funny.
Garrett was also born there, and we're like, you're gonna die there too, bro.
that's what people were saying. That's what Krugman was saying. I was like, don't put that in my mind, bro. He was like, dude, have you heard the stories about the people who die in the same place they were born? I was like,
yeah.
I was freaking out.
Garrett saw,
and my eyes are like huge. I'm like,
yeah, I have some great videos from in there too. We're like sliding down. We left. We made like a little like train system. Maybe I'm overhyping it, but we had like a little board on wheels, and we had like a sign and like a stick, and we'd like go down the ramps all the way down the entire thing.
Ramps are huge.
Yeah, so we'd be like rolling down, and we left it there for whoever made it there next. I'm not sure if it was still there when you guys were, but Garrett saw like a ripped up teddy bear sitting at the end of a long hallway.
What the heck?
Yeah, and he's like, he thought he was gonna die. That was honestly so much fun. So stupid. We went twice.
It is so stupid.
Another time of night.
Don't
it's literally
go.
like,
if you're listening,
honestly, do not go. There's nothing. Also, there's nothing in there. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah,
there's nothing
it's
to
not
do.
as exciting as you think, and you overthink.
It's just weird.
And then little things start to freak you out.
Yeah, there's some weird noises in there for sure. It's a weird place. It's very scary.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that it's even there is weird in itself.
I know. I don't know why they just
keep it a giant abandoned hospital.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the story. That is also going to be the podcast, guys. You have to wrap this up eventually. Yeah.
Yep.
Like to thank. Yeah, thank Aden so much for joining the show today. Really, really means a lot. What an episode! And like I said, I want to do it again sometime. Yep, Kai, Aden, Henry, that'd be dope. I'm going to be posting some more stuff on Instagram soon, guys, about the Shammy Awards, which are happening in December. So I know it's kind of far away, but we have a lot more episodes to recognize. So I want to go ahead and start doing some surveys or something on that. That's going to be it. Make sure to subscribe and whatnot. You can follow Aden on whatever the heck you want to. I'll put his socials in
don't worry about it.
Whatever. Don't do it. I don't know. Some people want clout from it. I don't know.
I just want people to spread happiness and
honestly,
to not surf. Just kidding.
Literally, everyone have a great weekend. Go party. Don't surf. Spread happiness. What you guys like to do. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.